Yes, hello. Finally, on a Friday evening. Hail to you, and welcome to Chuntcast. Oh my God, beg my pardon. I didn't say what you think I just said, but Chuntcast, episode 52. Oh boy, it's been a long week. I'm the king of this realm, Uncle Chunt. I hope you've all been great ones to you and yours. Before we begin, usual spiel, just bear with me. If you haven't already, just consider joining the Chunt Corps by liking, subscribing, and following and all that good stuff. It really helps grow the channel. And I am facing a great threat. This threat is known as the algorithm. To defeat this creature, I'm going to need your help. Every time you see my video, please leave a like and comment. Together we can take the fight to this beast and defeat it once for all. Yes. Just have to say that because YouTube, I said it last week, YouTube doesn't like you if you don't say that stuff because the algorithm listens. Excellent. Yes, again, hope you've all been well this week. This is going to be a bit of a shorter one tonight because it's been, let's face it, a pretty quiet week, right? And nothing really of interest. I mean, there's a few things, but nothing really of interest that really piqued me that I really wanted to delve into. But I got a couple of things that I really want to talk about that I hope will be worth your time, and some things that I've revisited in recent memory. And we'll hook into that and we'll take it casual tonight. It's not going to be real epic frills or, prepared imagery or anything like that. I just want to keep this easy tonight. It's been a hell of a week, and I'm sure you guys have had a bit of a hell of a week yourself. So let's just take it easy together. And we'll roll straight into the Ask Chunt because there's a bit of a heavy question. But it's a bit of a, I guess, timely one, considering just how the world is right now. And I guess we can use that. I'll keep it light as much as I can, but this is a bit of a serious question, and someone's, I think, might just be reaching out. And I want to take the opportunity to speak to this person, and hopefully if anyone else is out there that feels the same, we can just have a chat and get on the same page together, right? That's what it's all about. All right, let's do it, huh? Cool. All right, so this one is from Lyrical Nihilist XX. Particularly the XX at the back. Cool. So let me just read this, right? And we'll have a chat, shall we? And then, we'll have a bit of fun with it. Is it just me, or is everything a bit meh? I'm not excited about much anymore. I'm bored of my hobbies and interests. I barely play games. I lack motivation as a whole. I have games and comics I bought but haven't bothered to read. How are you lately? I'll get to that. You seem to be getting it done with YouTube and your projects. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, I look forward to your videos weekly, and you're a voice of reason and sense to me. I hope to hear your thoughts on this Chuntcast. Till all I one. All right, mate. Thank you very much for your question and sending that in. Hopefully you'll catch this one, right? So look, first off, I hope you're okay, mate. I just hope you're okay, right? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not anything. I'm not qualified to be giving advice. But man to man, I assume you're a bloke. If you're a woman, whatever, we'll just have a chat. Look, we all do this. I'm feeling a bit meh, right? We all get that way. Particularly with everything that's happening in the world at the moment. The news, it's always just fear-mongering, and all you're consuming is the worst of the worst. That everything's bad, everything around you sucks, this is the problem, this is hard, this is a challenge, everyone's set up for failure. That's what the news and the media and everything's putting out there, and it's hard to tune that out. But we also have some real issues that we're all dealing with. Cost of living, wars, housing crisis, supply chain issues, inflation, like everything legit, and this is a bit adult, but, and I'm saying that in front of a wall of Transformers. So I understand how this might look, but it does get better, right? I'm not going to give you my life story because, I want to put my entire life out there just because, it's personal stuff, but I can speak from experience, right? I think of myself at an age now where I can provide those out there or who speak to me, or whoever asks me for some advice, that I can pull enough from my life to formulate an educated opinion or advice. Right. So I've moved a lot in my life, and I went through a period of time a few years ago now where I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where I was going to be. I didn't know who I was going to become. You know, it was like not just a crossroads, but across crossroads of just, oh my God, you know, what have I done? Where have I put myself? I have no choice but to succeed, right? I have no choice but to get myself out of this mess or this challenging situation. And it was just me, right? I only had me, really. I moved to a place where I didn't know anyone really. You know, I had a couple friends, but you know, it was essentially just myself and whatever I had, the shirt on my back, whatever was in my car, just to set up life again. And I've done that a few times now, but it always got better, right? It always felt like, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to make this work. You know, and what does this have to do about your hobbies and interests and stuff? Well, it has a lot to do with it, because if you're off, everything else is off, right? And I'm no guru. I'm no shining example of someone who's got their life together, right? I'm at an age now where I'm only just peeking and peering behind the veil of what a normal, secure life might look like, right? But it's taken me like over a decade, like to sort my head out, understand what I really like, understand who I am, understand where I am in life, understand who I want to be, understand priorities, understand my whatever sets myself back. It's usually me, right? Whatever creed or crutch that I might have that set me back years. You know, it's identifying all that kind of stuff and reflecting on yourself and acknowledging things about yourself that you might not want to know about, right? And I know this is really deep and meaningful, but I'm going somewhere, right? So I have a day job, obviously, because sure as hell, if you've stuck around this channel long enough and you know that this isn't a big channel at all, I don't get many views, so this isn't my day job. I don't just do one of these a week and I'm living in a massive house. No, like I work a day job, and I've worked very hard at it to get where I am, right? We all have to play the cards we're dealt, right? And I haven't been dealt the best batch, but I've been dealt a few hands that are a bit more fortunate than others, right? And I say that loosely because I haven't really been handed anything. I've just been like presented a couple of opportunities and I've just grabbed it or just jumped in and said, I'll do this and I'll figure it out later, right? And it's gotten me through to where I am today, right? And I can't tell you what that is just for privacy reasons, but and it's only just recently where I feel like I'm on a path that is me, right? That I'm in a position where I'm using my strengths, which is communicating, trying to motivate those around me, or lead a team, so to speak, and try and just light that spark within us, right? And I do that every day, and I've found myself quite good at doing that and making decisions. And it's gotten me into a higher position, right? And I didn't know I was going to be there. If you asked me 10 years ago, do you think you'd be in the job that you're in? I'd say, I don't know. I honestly don't know. No. Like, I think if I went back 10 years ago and looked at myself now, I'd be like, how? How did that happen? I never saw myself there. I never imagined that path. I thought a different one, right? So, and you're probably in that position, right? I don't know anything about you. I don't know what your position is in life, but it gets better, right? You'll find something will happen, but it all has to start with you, right? You've got to do the hard work. You've got to just stick it out. You're the one that has to drive whatever happens to you, right? And some things you're going to have to sacrifice to get there, right? Unfortunately for me, not to make excuses, but I've made mistakes, and I've achieved other things, but I've let myself down in many personal ways, right? So in order for me to achieve XYZ in my day job or in my life outside of this room, I've neglected myself and my own achievements that I want to do, my own goals, right? And you just have to do that because, that pays the bills, and, you need to focus on that. You can't lose your mind, or you can't lose focus on your day job if you want to progress, or, where I'm going, right? So now I'm finding myself in a bit of a position now where I can focus on some things that interest me more. I've got a few things under control where I can kind of go, all right, I've got a little bit of bandwidth up here to, I don't know, play a little game, or develop a little game for myself, a card game, or, my Windows is making a bloody noise on me, or work on my comic book project, right? So I've gone into deep meaningfuls here for a bit, and I'm going to go into your hobbies and stuff now because I relate to that, right? You're going to get out of it, right? I don't know what your living situation is. I don't know what your employment situation is. I don't know what your life situation is, but everyone starts somewhere, and you just have to find the right path, right? You need to understand the fact that where you want to be often requires many, many steps before you get there, right? And it's probably going to be, years, right? You need to think long term. We're in this culture and this mindset, this collective mindset that a solution is just going to fall in our laps and it's going to make everything go away, right? Every problem will go away. No. That's not reality, right? You need to start thinking otherwise, if you're thinking that at all. I know I'm speaking from experience because I used to be like that, right? I was like, oh man, I wish this YouTube channel will go off, or I wish I'd win the lottery or whatever, and then I'd be on easy street. I could do what I want, but that's not the reality, right? And I do this now just because I enjoy it, and it gives me an excuse to talk and speak and, voice my opinions on things I take interest in, right? But I'm realistic, right? I'm realistic. I've been doing this long enough. If the algorithm doesn't favor me now, it's never going to, right? So I just do this for my own enjoyment. So just take that, right? Whatever skill set that you have, whatever opportunities that are in front of you, something will come around. You just need to find it and do the hard work. And, that might sound like it sucks, but it is what it is. I've lived it, and I've had to fend for myself long enough to know what I'm capable of. And I'm receiving the accolades and rewards for that, 10 years later, where I am now. But yeah, it's still work. It doesn't mean I can slack off. It doesn't mean just because I'm there that it's easy street. Hell no. Like I've got more work on my plate now than I've had in a very long time. And, I just have to get more organized and work through it, right? And what I've learned through my job, I'm trying to apply here, right? My organizational skills to make this happen where possible. It's not always the same, but anyway, I'm hoping what I'm saying here might just shine a light on something that you're dealing with, right? And I'm getting to a point now. Okay, I'm gonna address your hobbies and stuff now because I can relate to that. So I also have a list of games and books that I've purchased, but I have not yet played nor read, right? And it's not for lack of motivation. It's just because there's so many distractions. There's so many distractions in life. And, after you're working all week, you just want to turn off, right? Sometimes you just feel like I don't have the mental capacity to do what this game demands from me, right? Or, yeah, that book looks a bit thick. I don't know if I can commit to that, right? But a few weeks ago, I read two thick comic books that I've had on my shelf for literal months, as of my birthday last year, right? And I finally read the first 2 volumes of 6 of them, and I'm going to try and read the next 2 volumes this weekend. And I loved it, man. I loved it. My wife and I, we we put YouTube music on, some long like chill playlist or whatever it is, and you put a candle on the other side of the room, whatever, and you got enough light around you on the couch and we both sat there together and read books together, right? And it was so nice. There was no noise, there was no distractions. It was just us reading a book and just experiencing like this story, reading through comics and, just enjoying a different medium, right? And I think where I'm going is I think you might need just something to mix it up, man. Like I know like the popular culture and the Twitterverse and social media and the gaming, the gaming YouTubers and all that crap, you want to be in that niche. You want to be in that circle. You want to be in that echo chamber, so to speak, of, these YouTubers. They enjoy gaming and comics and stuff every day, all day. It's like, well, I don't think they do. I think if I love comics, I love games, but if I can't be bothered to pull myself together to do it and put a video together or talk about something, they obviously have their challenges too, right? They get burnt out. They got to force themselves, and some of them have admitted online where, some of these videos have had to force themselves to do because they have to meet, the algorithm deadlines or algorithm requirements just to get videos out, right? But you and I, like, we have the luxury of just taking a step back and enjoying what we like, right? So maybe what you need to do is just force yourself to read one, right? Force yourself to play one, right? The hardest step is often the first, right? And speaking from experience again, like I want to get back to the gym. I was this close from being invited to join this strongman gym in my city where I live, who trains some of the best in Australia, right? And the gym I was going to, I was lifting quite well, quite heavy, all on my own. And one of the trainers in that place walked up to me. He's like, "Hey, I've been watching you, and you're lifting a lot. Like, are you guided by anyone?" I was like, "No, I'm just do this for myself, right? I just come in here and I lift what I can. I make sure I've got my form under control. But once it gets too light, I just slap more weight on, or move the pin down, or put another couple of plates on the bar, and then do that until that gets light again, or until I get that under control, and then I put more on." And he's like, "Holy shit, all right." He goes, "Hey, like, have you thought about, taking this a bit more seriously?" And this was before COVID happened, right? And I was like, "No, I didn't really thought about it, to be honest. I just do this because it makes me feel good, feeling strong." And, so you might just need to try something else, right? And I brought the thing up about the gym because I'm getting through this point now where I want to go back there and try getting there again, right? But taking that first step back in the gym, or setting time aside in my life at the moment to set an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is, to get that routine going again and getting that organized and getting the right food in and all that kind of stuff, it's a daunting prospect because I know what I used to be able to lift. I knew what kind of weight I used to be able to move, and I knew how long it took me to get there. And me sitting here essentially going to have to start over again, like 3 years later of doing nothing. It's a daunting prospect, and the fact that it's a daunting prospect is enough for me to not do it, right? And you might be having that same issue where this little thing, well, someone might say it's a little thing, but this little thing of you wanting to play a game, or this little thing of you wanting to pick up a book feels like a very daunting prospect, right? Just do it. I know that that's very hypocritical, and it sounds really stupid because, it's like telling someone who has anxiety of like, "Hey, just stop stressing out." Oh, okay. I didn't think of that. It's a bit like that, right? And you can't, it's easy to say that to some people, like, "Hey, just go back to the gym. Just start." It's like, "Oh, okay. Oh, it's not like I've been trying." Okay. But it's true, right? It's true. It's like any job. You're like, "Oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do at work today to get past this thing." But then you do it and you achieve it. Right, as long as you have an understanding what you need to do. So, my advice to you is maybe just take a moment to step back. Right, you might be one of these people that has a shelf, like a wall, just full of games and full of books, and you walk in and you look at it, you're like, "I don't know where to start," and maybe that's part of the problem, right? Because part of the culture we're in, it's like we need to collect everything. Oh, we need to have everything we own on display. You know, that kind of thing. And I say that, again, hypocritical. Look at my Transformers behind me, and I've got my comic book shelf over there and my figures and shit. But just pull a couple off the shelf and put them on your dining table out in the lounge room or whatever, right? So you walk through the room, you know, in the morning, say on the weekend, you know, you're like, right, I'm going to have my breakfast, and then cool. All right, yep, I've finished breakfast. Oh, look, I've got a couple books on the table there. I'm just going to pick one up and start reading, right? Just bite-sized steps to make it easy for yourself to set yourself up to be able to get back into something you're into, right? Like me, one of the topics I'm going to talk about after this is about that, right? Me getting out and walking and stuff like that, getting active again. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, and it's gaming related, right? And it's the same with games, mate. If you want to play games, if you've got a backlog, if you've got a shelf full of them, just, I don't know, like put them away, put them out of sight, and just take a couple out of the box and leave them next to your TV, next to your controller. And you're like, okay, yeah, I think I might want to play that one. You know, just make it easy for yourself instead of giving you a mountain to stare at all the time, right? Anyway, I'm hoping that helps. Like there's a lot in there to unpack, and I have a lot of experience in this area. And I think a lot of people that might see the show do as well. But look up. I hope I've provided some insight there on something that you might be able to do. Again, I don't really know you. I don't know what your challenges are, like what your history is, and you know why you're lacking motivation or anything like that. But you're not the only one, mate. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not alone. There's many. I'm like this. There's many people that probably watch this, or people that you know are exactly the same as you. It's because of the world that we're in right now, man. Everything's a bit hard right now. Everything's a bit dire. Everything feels like everything sucks. You know, life is hard. We're getting to that point where, you know, we've lived it pretty good for too long, depending on where you're from and depending on what your life is. But even the people that have been living good all this time are now starting to struggle a bit, right? So imagine those who haven't had it easy, how much harder they must be having it right now. So just give yourself some easy wins. That's what I'm trying to say. Just, you want to read a book, put a book out somewhere, just pick one, you know, and just leave it somewhere. So when you walk past it, okay, yeah, that's the one I'm going to read, and just sit down and read it. Or same thing with a game, put a game out, boot up your console if it's digital, and just go and pick the first one and just start playing something, right? Even if you don't like it, just give it a go, right? And just don't get caught up in the whole, I need to finish this game. Like, no, like I've been burning through my backlog. If I'm done with a game, I'm done. Like, I'm not caught up on finishing it or thinking I've wasted money or whatever. It's like, if I bought that game years ago and I finally played it and it's not my thing, or it's just not gelling with me, I'm like, cool, yeah, I'm going to move on. All right, I'm not going to force myself to play a game that's just not hitting me right. You know, it's the same thing with anything. All right, your time is yours, right? Spend it how you feel is right for you in that moment, right? Don't force yourself to like something just because, you know, you might think someone else doesn't think you're cool because you didn't finish this game or you didn't like this book or whatever, right? This YouTube social media space has warped a lot of us, right? And I used to be like that. I watched a lot of these channels and I'm like, man, I wish I knew them, or I wish I could be like one of them. And, you know, but it eventually becomes fake, right? It eventually becomes, well, what am I doing here? You know, who am I trying to prove this to, right? And once you realize that and you go, well, I'm going to take ownership back on this. I sold a bunch of games. I sold a bunch of Transformers. I sold a bunch of books. I threw a whole bunch of shit out that I didn't need because I was like, well, why? I don't need it. And I'm not trying to impress anyone. And I narrowed it down to the stuff that I actually enjoy and just kept that, right? So free yourself. I don't know, maybe that's another thing. Free yourself from some of these burdens that you've got, right? Or get another hobby. Try that too. Maybe take a fresh approach. Try something new. Anyway, I'm getting like on a real self-help soapbox here, which, you know, that's might not be what you need, or it might not be what anyone came here for. And I've probably just lost everybody's audience. But I'm here to answer your question, which is the most important thing. I was going through the backlog of questions that I've got, and I found this one. I'm like, yeah, you know, and I apologize for taking so long to get to this one. But I thought this was worth talking about. as it might not just help yourself, but it might help others. Just to have the discussion. I'm not having answers here. I'm not, like I said, I don't have all the answers, right? I don't know if I said that, but I'm saying it now. Like I don't have all the answers. I'm not pretending to have them. I'm not a professional, but I'm just chatting to you as if you're in front of me now, right? And we'll talk about your situation here and ways that you can get around it. You know, just take the first step. That's all you can do, and then take another one, and then take another one, and then take another one, right? And as far as me, like I'm good, man. Like I'm all right. I'm doing okay. Like I'm a bit stressed with work and, you know, just life stuff. And I'm trying to find time to do this because I want to keep doing it because I enjoy it. And I kick myself every time I haven't uploaded and every time I haven't given this to myself. Right. This is a treat for me to do because I've got all these tools, you know, I've got a bit of an audience, you know, and I love doing it. I like putting my voice out there because I know I've got a bit of a unique perspective on things, or the way I convey things is different to a lot of the whatever other channels are out there that keep spewing content. You know, it's a bit tabloidy. I hate that stuff. I just want to do me, do real stuff. But as far as my projects, yeah, that's the one thing I wish I made more time for, right? And I'm going to, right? I'm working that out. I just moved into a new job position, so I've just been focusing on that, and I've put all my focus on hold for everything else while I got this new job under control. But it's getting to a point now where I can start shifting that focus back, right, to working on my projects. I want to put a comic out this year. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's just a one-shot issue or a full, like, I don't know, a full 100-page book. I don't know if I'm going to do that before the year's end. But and I'm also doing some collector cards, right? I want to do these annual cards just from the channel of key moments throughout the year in pop culture and gaming, and that I've talked about on the channel. And it's like memento cards. I'll talk about it in a future video once I've got the concept down and at least one or two examples to show. And, you know, I want to put those up for, you know, whoever wants to collect them. You know, I'll put them up for sale somewhere or whatever as a bit of fun, right? And it'll be cheap. I'm probably not going to make any money out of it. I don't really care. It's just fun for me. And, you know, for you guys that have been watching for a long time, you know, you can collect something, right? Collect some cards, collect the cards, and, you know, you can get a little bind. I'm going to be doing this for myself, right? You know, I'm going to do this for myself. So I may as well, you know, try and put it out there for everybody else to enjoy too. So yeah, I'm good, mate. You know, I'm all right. Life will always change, and you just have to change with it and try and enjoy yourself along the way. But yeah, thanks for your kind words at the end there too. I'm happy to be here, right? This is one of the reasons why I like doing this show, is because comments like this that seem to get more positive ones as the weeks have been going, which I like that. It makes me feel good, you know, just to see that positive feedback. I get a lot of shit ones too, don't get me wrong, but the ones that I put out here are the ones that I think are going to be positive enough for someone to see. Like I'm not purposely going to put a negative, hateful Ask Chunt question on this. Like that, I'm not going to put that out there. So all of you people that want to put bullshit through, you're never going to get on, right? You're just going to get blocked or whatever. So good on you. But people like lyrical nihilists, you know, when you've got a bit of a heavy questioning here, to me, it felt like you just needed to hear something from someone. So I wanted to take the time out to give you that, right? And hopefully there's someone else out there that might need that too. Again, I don't know if I've actually helped, but let me know. Touch base with me, mate. Like, just comment on this video and then tell me, or tag me on Twitter or some shit. I don't know. As for being a voice of reason and sense, that's a massive compliment. I'll take it. Like, I know I'm a good communicator. I know I can talk a lot. That's why I do this, and I get that feedback from work as well. But hearing it outside of work is extra validation. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. Half the time I think I'm just talking bullshit anyway, but if it makes sense and it sounds reasonable, then that's great. I'm doing a good job. I hope to hear your thoughts on this on the Chuntcast. What you just done, and till all the one. Indeed, man. All right. Cool. Touch base with me, man. Just tag me on Twitter or Instagram, whatever, and just let me know if this reaches you, and leave a comment if you can, whatever. And just let me know you're all good, mate. Cool. Awesome. All right. Cool. That was a bit heavy. Sorry, everyone. But sometimes you just have to take the silly cap off and just have a real conversation. All right. And, we're all on this planet, this floating rock through space together. And, it sounds cheesy, but being in a leadership position for as long as I have, I've learnt to appreciate that your words do matter and everything you say counts, right? And if you have a platform to say something, you should use it to help or motivate or put a fire under someone that might need it, or just know that there's support there for people, right? Anyway, I'm going to get into another soapbox there if I keep going. So let's have a bit of silliness, and I'm going to flick over to a couple of posts here that I just want to talk about, and Pokemon Go. Yeah, so we're going to talk about Pokemon Go. All right, hang on there. Excellent. All right, so just straight away, I got one of these. It's a Pokemon Go Plus. Apparently, it only just came out this year. I had no idea until. So my wife and I were talking about Pokemon, and we're going through the App Store, and we're talking about how we were disappointed by Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and then somehow it came up with talking about Pokemon Go again, and we're talking about that, and we're like, hey, we should just reinstall that and give it a go. And mate, let me tell you, I love it. I'm hooked on it. It's because I'm a bit time poor lately with work and all that kind of stuff. Like, you asked me what game I've been playing. It's Pokemon Go. I've been playing this game so much. Like, I've got the app on my phone all the time. Let me just open it up. So I've got Snorlax as my buddy because he's the boy. He's the man of the plan. Actually, my Snorlax is a female, so go figure. But yeah, anyway, so I know you can't really see that. It's all blown out, but anyway, whatever. I'm playing the shit out of this game. I've got Snorlax walking around with me, and I've got some random Pokemon there. But yeah, so this thing, I love this thing. You can connect it to the app here, and you can hear Pikachu say something. How cool is that? And it's going to catch that Pokemon for me. Oh. Well, that means it flashed red. That means it didn't catch it. It ran away. Well, that sucks. Anyway, so this is going to sit here and just catch every Pokemon that's around me right now. Or try to, right? It's flashing those colors. That means it caught that Pokemon. So I'm hooked on this, right? So my wife and I have been playing this, and I was becoming a public nuisance and risking the lives of everyone around by, like, so I've got my phone on my dash to have Google Maps and stuff, right? But I was being an idiot, and I don't recommend anyone do this. But I had Google Maps open on top of Pokemon Go. Oh boy! And so I'm sitting there like trying to drive, and I'm like, out of the corner of my eye, like, and try like ping Pokestops and like try and flick balls try and catch Pokemon, and throwing balls at them and whatnot. And I had a few close calls. I'm like, all right, you're a dickhead, you're an idiot. But I felt like I was missing out. So my wife is chilling there in the car, just like playing, and I'm like, oh man, like she's getting all these rad Pokemon. I'm like, oh man, I'm missing out. So I went looking. I was like, oh, I remember the Pokemon Go Plus or something. It was like a wristband, whatever. And apparently they're not a thing anymore. They're 7 years old or whatever. And I just totally forgot how old this game is. But this one came out. It's a bit bigger, and it's got lights and sounds and stuff. And you can also use this to track your sleep, and you get bonuses while playing the game. I'll move my screen over. Yeah, here. So that's the box that it came in. All right, this is my Instagram. I got it from Japan, Amazon on Japan. It was cheaper ordering it through Japan and Amazon than it was anywhere in Australia. Right? It was like a $50 difference between buying it somewhere in Australia, $50. Maybe like $80 difference actually. And I was like, I want one, but I don't want to spend that much money. So I went looking around and got one through Amazon America, but it was sent from Japan. anyway, it's really confusing, but yeah, it works. There's no issues. It's just one device they sell across the world. It's not regional or anything like that. But yeah, you can put this in when you go to sleep. You can hold it down, and Pikachu sings you a lullaby and shit. Let me see if I can trigger it. So I have to disconnect the device from the Pokemon Go app. All right, but then you got to put it down on the flat surface and hold the button down, and I'll put it up to the microphone. I'm going to let it go. Yep. So that goes into sleep mode, right? I'm going to take it out of sleep mode because it's going to screw up my bonuses. I don't think it makes any noise. No. Anyway, so I'm going to make him make a noise again. So you reconnect this device back to the Pokemon Go app, right? And it vibrates. And he'll celebrate. Yeah. Right. So that's reconnected to the Pokemon Go app. So what this is going to do is, if you've got the app open, the game open, and you've kind of got it running in the background, so to speak. Obviously, depending on the phone you can have a number of apps open all at once before it starts closing. Some of the more heavy duty apps, like you just got to be careful. Like you might be using your phone and you don't realize that the game has stopped working or it's closed in the background, so you got to reopen it again. But as long as the game is running in the background, or you just lock the screen and it's running, this will spin all the Pokestops that you walk past. It'll catch, it'll attempt to auto catch all the Pokemon that you walk past or drive past or whatever. And in sleep mode, it tracks your sleep, and you get bonuses when you wake up in the morning. And it's like, I'm fully invested, mate. It's so cool. The game is so different. Like I played it at launch, and I hated it. I was like, this game sucks. It was very feature poor, right? But now, Pokemon Go Plus, Pokemon Go Plus Plus, that's what this is. It's a stupid name. But the game itself, Pokemon Go, has, pardon the pun, but it has evolved to a point where it's a full feature game, mate. Like you can even just battle in the game like it's a normal Pokemon game. That shit wasn't there at launch, right? You can battle in leagues and stuff like that. And you can do PvP like anywhere against anyone, and you can level up your Pokemon, and it's like, I'm really surprised by it. To be honest, I'm really impressed by it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be playing this a while. So I invested in this thing. Fair go. My wife thinks I spent a bit too much on it, but I don't care because I wanted it. I was like, I'm going to get my fill out of this, and I already have. Like I've had it for like a week, and we've been driving around places or whatever, walking around the shops or out of a park or at a cafe or whatever, just chilling. And this thing's going off in my pocket like a frog in a sock, And then I come out and we sit in the car and we go through like what we caught or what happened, and I've got like streams of Pokemon that I can just kill and like transfer to the professor to turn into candies to level up my other Pokemon. So like I'm in it, mate. I'm in it. I'm really enjoying it, and this is the game that I've played the most in recent weeks. I've played other games like I played Double Dragon Gaiden, the new one that came out. That was really cool, and my wife and I played that. We got to the final boss and we just gave up because we just got it was like a boss rush at the end, and it was just too much. And it was taking the fun out of it. So no, I enjoyed that. Let's just stop and we'll play something else because I'd like to remember this game fondly. And now Broforce has come out to Xbox with the update. I'm going to play through Broforce. I've been playing some Mario Golf. Finally, I opened my new Mario Golf game. Like, talk about a Lyrical Nihilist. Yeah, these are some games that I've had in my backlog, right, that I'm finally getting to. And, it takes time, right? And I'm enjoying the more simpler games, right? I didn't actually end up finishing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Right? I love that game. I was enjoying that so much, right? But I took too much time away from it, just to handle some life stuff. And now I've come back, and it's I don't know where I am. I don't know what it is, and everything's overwhelming. So I stopped playing it and just started playing some simpler games, right? Just some platformers. And the Hunt Down, that is an excellent game. Like it was a retro action side scroller, real cyberpunk type game, and my wife and I played that co-op, and that was a lot of fun. I love that game. That is so good, right? So these simpler kind of platformer games, simple Pokemon Go game, like that's kind of where I'm going at the moment. I've got a Series X sitting out there. We both have, we've got a Series X each and two 65-inch TVs set up in the lounge room. Because we were playing a lot of games together, but we're both in that same ballpark where we're like, we're just tired, and life has been a bit busy and hectic, and it's hard to just turn off and enjoy a game when you're thinking about your other responsibilities that you need to do in the next day and whatever else. So having these simple little games around just so you can feel like you're playing something, and just distract yourself enough, right? I'm so happy I got this. At first I was like, why did I buy this? Like when I ordered it, I'm like, what did you do, mate? What'd you do? But now that it's here and the features that are there, and like it's a neat little product, man. I'm happy to have it. I take it in my bag at work. Like work, we've got a bunch of Pokestops around and a gym, so this thing just pings them all day. It stacks up my Pokeballs and potions in my item bag. And I catch just random Pokemon. I've caught some pretty damn good Pokemon just sitting there without my notice, right? And I'm playing the game without even looking at it, right? I'm really happy with it. Let me know if any of you guys out there are playing Pokemon Go. And it's a good excuse. This is what I was talking about with the Ask Chunt question for Lyrical Nihilist. Like my wife and I are looking to go walking some more, right? Just to get active and to get a bit more healthier. And Pokemon Go was that kind of driver. Let's go find a park nearby. Let's take a 20-minute walk or a half-an-hour walk. Or let's go outside and let's take a comic book and down to a park and have a lunch and walk around or whatever. And play some Pokemon Go, and let's get outside and get active a bit more. And so I'm investing in that, right? And that's how I justified this purchase. But that's good, right? Sometimes you got to do that. You got to give yourself a bit of a kick up the bum, or reward yourself or something, or just put yourself in a position where, all right, I'm going to do this, and I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna put this thing in front of me, so I feel guilty when I'm not using it, right? And then you go out and do it just to spite yourself, and then you start doing it, right? So yeah, that's been going well. I'm looking forward to doing more. My gym actually has a Pokestop or a gym on top of it. So I can take this and leave it in my pocket, and it's just gonna just ping that shit for a couple of hours, and I can play the game without playing it. And then when I come home, my wife and I can play Pokemon together and walk around, catch some Pokemon at a park together, or just chilling out at home. And it's the little things in life, mate. Just take the wins where you can. Oh my god, bloody Windows! I gotta fix that. Stop. I installed this link to Windows app, Link Phone, whatever it is for Windows, and I forgot to turn off notifications, so it's been going off during this video. So during this recording, so I do apologize. I'll make sure I turn that off for next time. Yeah, cool. All right. Holy crap, 45 minutes. Wow. We spent a long time having a deep meaningful at the start of this video. All right. I'll wrap this Pokemon Go topic up and I'll just briefly, literally, I'm going to cut this really brief for the next topic. Watch this. So my wife and I just watched through the entire series of Friends, all 10 seasons on Netflix. It took us a few months, but we did it. That show was still good. It's still good. I enjoyed it. It was a great snapshot of what the 90s was, in not every way, but it was a way of oh wow. It was interesting to see them at least 8 seasons before they had mobile phones in their hands. and it was like those Nokia looking ones with just the green screen and, you know, those old school phones, right? So it was interesting to see all these CRT TVs and just the old technology and just how simple things were back then. And I grew up in that era, right? And it was very nostalgic to me. And it was still a funny show. I really enjoyed it. The characters are still funny. There's no other show like it. I don't care what anyone says. Everything in that show is funny. I know there's so much stuff in that show that just would not fly today, just because of how freaking sensitive people are today. But anyway, that's all I want to talk about. I was going to talk about it a bit more, but what else needs to be said? Friends is still a great show. Let me know if you like Friends. Who do you relate to in that show and more? I'm kind of, as I got older, I realized I'm a bit more of a mix of Joey and Ross. The best parts, of course, but yeah, anyway. But yeah, great characters. I really enjoyed that show. It's going to be a long time before I watch that show again, but yeah, what a show. It's just, that took the world by storm, and every generation has one. Every decade has one, and that was definitely that one, and it's still good today. I don't care what anyone says. Cool. What an odd topic to throw in there, but it is what it is. So let's just wrap that one up and let's just be done with this show, and I'll let you go. So let's do this. Cool. Awesome. All right. Thank you, everyone. I know this is going to be a bit shorter than recent weeks, but I did promise that from the top of the show. And look, you know, we did spend a bit of time being a bit serious at the start, but it was worth saying. Like, not everything is always happy and rainbows and, oh, look how cool this thing is to talk about. You know, I did that a bit with Pokemon Go, but I saw that question and I thought it was worth dedicating the time to it, because I know there's a lot of us that are in that same boat. And like I said, I don't have the answers. I'm not a professional. If you do need help, like, just reach out to your friends and family. Or if you really do need help, like, there's nothing wrong with seeking professional help. Like, seriously, I've done it. I'm not going to lie. I've done it a few times, you know, just to get an outsider's professional perspective on, like, what you're dealing with. There's no shame in it. It's really not. Like, people need to take mental health a lot more seriously than they do, particularly for men. There's still the stereotype that, you know, men, we don't feel things, that we're just tough and we just get through things and we don't talk about feelings and stuff like that. But, you know, it's still true in a lot of ways, but don't let that stop you from going to talk to someone, right? I dealt with that and I was like, I don't need that. Like, I'm a bit of a burly bloke, right? And I don't need help. I don't need to talk to people. I'll deal with my own thing. I always have, right? And I have. I always deal with my own stuff. But, you know, I've gotten to the point where I've broken, you know, and I've needed to go talk to people just to figure out what's going on, right? So if you're bored and feeling so dissociative around the things that you would typically enjoy, that usually means there's something actually wrong that you need to address and think about and go talk about it to people, right? And just know that there's people out there that are going through the same thing, and you'll be fine, right? You'll be fine, mate. Everything gets better. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but it will, and you just have to persevere and work through it. And get a support group, whether it's physical or online. Seek help and whatever else. If I can sit here, big burly bloke with a big beard, you know, if I can sit here and say I've gone and seeked help and spoken to people and gone getting advice, like, you can do it too. Like, get rid of that stereotype and the pride behind it and just go get it done. Cool, awesome. All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go like get Pikachu all set up. He's gonna put me to sleep tonight. And my wife is like, oh my God, I'm going to have Pikachu sing me a lullaby tonight, and I don't give a shit. I'm a hairy late 30-year-old man who's enjoying Pokemon Go. I don't give a stuff. Cool. Awesome. All right. Take care, everyone. I wish I'll say my usual spiel. I'll remember this verbatim one day, but I have my notes on screen so I don't forget. As we wrap this up, I wish you thanks for your time. I really do. And including me in your day. It's awesome. Right. Thank you very much for that. I know it's time you don't get back, but I thank you for including me in it. Feel free to follow me on my socials at Uncle Chunt on the main platforms, or just go to unclechunt.com to keep abreast of my upcoming projects and updates. In the meantime, till all are one, and may the power protect you, Skull. Indeed. Rock on.